Alright guys, let's get this season started. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. And if you're new here, we'd like to say welcome to you guys too. Tina and I are getting ready to kick off a whole new gardening season here at Bumblebee Junction, and we're excited to have you guys here. If you hang on till after the break, we'll show you around. Alright guys, we've got a lot of new subscribers here on the channel and we're really excited about that. Tina and I do a lot of gardening here, and that's going to be one of our first priorities this spring. We've been away for a while, but we've addressed a lot of the concerns that we had, and we're glad to be back. We're glad to have you guys here. We're going to take off out here in the gardens and walk around the property just a little bit, and we'll show you what's going on. Now, it's not the hardest springtime yet, and everything's not all as pretty as we would like it to be, but it's what it is. So we've got all these new folks here on the channel, and that's probably one of you. So we want to show you what you're in for, what you can probably expect from us, and we'll just take a look around. Alright guys, like any good meeting here on the homestead, we've got old business and we've got new business. So this is some old business we need to finish taking care of. This is some garlic we've had out here on the porch. It's been out here all winter, and I want to bring you in and show you. Sorry about the noise here, but I want to show you we've got some sprouting going on and stuff. Now this garlic, we're not going to let this garlic go to waste. We have all the garlic powder and stuff that we needed for the year, but we're going to take all these heads and we're going to find us a place back here on the property. We're going to till that up. Then we're going to throw these heads down and till them into the ground, and we're going to start us a wild garlic patch. So you guys can hang out for that. We've got garlic already planted out there in the garden, so you'll get to see that grow through the season. But we're going to be creating a wild garlic patch this year. That'll be one of the things you guys can follow along with. Alright, another thing before we wander too far from the porch is if you're into container gardening or things like that, Tina and I are getting ready to do a little gardening up here on the porch. We got our baskets ready, and as you know, we raise cucumbers and stuff here on our porch and hanging baskets. But we're getting everything ready to roll up here, so stay tuned for that. If you're into container gardening or small space gardening, we'll show you how to do some of that. Alright guys, just a quick shot around. If you happen to be new to the channel, then we want to say hello and let you know Tina and I have Bumblebee Junction here in East Tennessee. We homestead on 7 1/4 acres, and I would give you a kind of pan around shot. We have the lot here at the house on it. We own about an acre or so next door. And if you can see back in the field back there, we own the 5 1/2 acres back there behind the house. So we'll get around, we'll show you a little bit more of the lay of the land. But here's a view of Bumblebee Junction, in case you've not been here before. Alright guys, a couple things here on the homestead will always let you know when you ought to be doing what you're doing. So this is a June magnolia, and the June magnolia blooms when it's time to break ground, and it knows to do that by the soil temperature. So we know that the soil temperature when the June magnolia blooms is 45 degrees. Our next indicator be the asparagus. When the asparagus starts breaking ground, it wakes up and starts doing its thing when the ground hits 50 degrees. So you want to give the asparagus just a little bit, let that soil temperature come up to 55, and you should be in the germination range for most plants. Alright guys, just a quick clip. We'll swing around here and take a look at the front before we head back here to the back, but this is kind of the view from the house. Alrighty, we're back here in the back. One of the things you're probably going to see a lot of this year is going to be our raised bed garden. We put this in a few years back. The boxes, we get a lot of questions about the boxes. The boxes were made by Earthmark. We purchased them through Home Depot online, but they are Earthmark boxes. So If you enjoy watching them, we get a lot of questions about them. That's where you'd want to head over and get them, or you can build your own. Seen a lot of people build them with corrugated tin, and then for the corners, you can go to Lowe's, get you a roll of aluminum gutter flashing, and use that to bend around the corners. So make sure you leave you enough room to bend and get around the corner. But you can make your own boxes like this with just corrugated tin, some self-tapping screws, and some flashing from the gutters. So anyway, these are our raised beds. Besides this, we have a pretty large corn patch that you'll see us raise sweet corn in, and then we have our regular garden. But back here in the back are a couple of our coops. These are some Amish or Mennonite built coops, but those would be our blue lace red Wyandotte chickens. And then over here in the other coop, we have the all black Ayam Samanis. If you're not familiar with those, they're a pretty rare breed chicken. The meat's black, the organs are black, the entire bird's black, except they do not lay black eggs, as the rumor says. They lay a medium-sized cream-colored egg. So that's the Ayam Samani. We'll learn more about those as the year goes on. But we just thought we'd stop over here. We're getting these beds ready to roll for the year. So get the tractor over there fired up. There's one of the gardens over there. Down here on the other end, let's see, there is the corn patch over there. We'll be getting that tidied up and ready to go. The flowering trees you see in the distance are about a 30-tree orchard. So it's mostly fruit trees, pears and apples and stuff. So we'll get over there. You'll get a chance to get to know the whole property as we go along. But we're sure glad to have you guys here, and we're glad to have you guys getting in on the giveaway. So any of you that have gotten in on the giveaway, we wish you the best of luck. We're going to draw that, I believe, Monday at noon, and we'll try to do our best to get the drawing online, so or film it as we do it, so you guys can see the winners. But just wanted to get you out here, give you a look around, let you know what you're in for the year. A lot of people will go through a drawing and then they'll run off. We sure hope to keep you here at the homestead and have you follow us through the gardening season and maybe learn you something. Alrighty guys, I thought I'd bring you over here and get you a closer look at the orchard. We're probably gonna spend some more time on focusing on that this year. We're gonna try to do some splicing and some combination of different species we have growing here in the fruit orchard. But thought maybe we'd bring it over. We haven't featured it too heavily in years past, but we do have a lot of really pretty trees down through here. It's one of our favorite, most peaceful places to come and go. We don't use any insecticides or anything out here, so we let the bees just have their way with the spring blooms and stuff. Now we do spray a little bit on the gardens at times, but for the most part we have tried to keep everything organic and or as safe as it can possibly be within reason. We want to grow gardens to feed ourselves, not feed the insects. So, but we do try to keep things as safe as we can for the bees. That's part of our project here, is to create an environment where they feel friendly, or an environment friendly to them. So we'll just take a look down through here. You can see the fence needs cleaned up. We got a lot of debris left over. You may have seen our flooding video. If you haven't seen that, maybe go back and check it out. But this whole area here was underwater. That's why it's so nice and green now. But take a look at the creek here. That's our bridge. That bridge has stood through many a flood, and the floodwater that you see in the other one, that bridge is about 4 feet underwater. So it has taken a beating. It's had trees bounce off of it. Everything else, we'll take a look down through here at our little creek. This creek runs, there's the house. There's some debris we've cleaned out of the bridge and stuff over the years. But this little creek is right here behind the house. For the most part, it's a quiet little creek until it gets out of hand. And then we have to count on the water mitigation plan we developed with the state, and keeps the water, it looks bad because the water spreads out really wide, but that also slows it down and cuts down on the erosion. And the wider it gets, the harder it is for it to come up near our house. So you can see the grade goes upwards towards the house, but it's kind of an invisible way that we protect the house. It's just our water mitigation plan. We drew the banks of the creek down. We pulled the ground up towards the house, and then cut the banks on the far side and drew them towards the back field back here. So thought we'd let you know we do have a means of dealing with the water when you see us flood. please don't worry about the chickens. As you can see from here, their houses are better than a foot off the ground. And for every inch that that water tries to come up, it has to get about 50 yards wider. So you can see back here, it's very, very flat. So every inch of elevation just makes it that much wider. So we don't worry about it getting up in the chicken houses. As bad as it's ever looked, it's never made it up in there. And it's certainly not going to make it up into our home. So that was the plan when we did it, and it's worked out well for us. Here's a look you won't see very often here. This is our tomato patch, and as many of you know from years past, this looks completely different when it's totally involved in growing tomatoes. But right now we've got some cardboard down. It's been down all winter, and you can see there's been a little disarray. But we'll put that cardboard down, keeps the weeds down in the tomato patch until we're ready to deal with it again. We'll come in here. We usually grow 40 tomato plants, and we use a big heavy stake. A lot of people use cages and stuff, but the way we grow tomatoes, they have a tendency to tie those little cages in knots. So, but I haven't met a tomato plant yet that could tie a T-post in a knot. So we tie them up to the T-post as they grow. And you'll see we mulch around them and stuff like that. This tomato patch will look completely different come spring, but this is an early spring view we don't normally share with everyone, but you might as well take a look and see where everything starts from. All right, here's another look that we don't normally show, or we haven't really shown before, is our these are our raised beds over here. This is early spring. We have nothing going on in them yet, except down there. The last two are asparagus beds, which are actually going to be torn out this year. So we'll show you that process as we go, but we already have the replacement asparagus plants, and we'll retrieve what we can of the ones that are in there. But like I said, that's the whole process that we intended to show you anyway. But we raise stuff in these boxes here, and then a lot of people ask what we raise in the barrels. Usually in the barrels is where we raise our herb plants and stuff. So we'll show you more of that as the spring comes along, but aside from the other raised boxes on the other side, these are the ones over here. All right, guys, it looks like the chickens are gonna make it almost impossible for me to keep talking out here. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up for now. It looks like got a pretty good look around. Got some fruit trees and stuff on back up here towards the road. This is our chicken tractor here in the forefront. Back here is Tina's shop and Tina's pond. And we got the grape arbors here. So, and another one of the chicken houses there on the right. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. And I'm sure we'll do a lot better job showing you around here in the future. But we'll get back up there on the porch and we'll talk to you for a minute, and then we'll let you guys go. All right, guys, that's gonna about wrap it up for the video today. I apologize. I know it's probably been kind of a boring walk around. I'm not quite up to speed yet, but we're looking forward to having y'all here on the channel. We're looking forward to bringing you a wonderful new gardening season. We've got a lot of things planned. Just we hope you'll hang out and check us out, and we'll get this year going. We're a little slow getting started. Weather's been kind of bad. You've seen we had some flooding and stuff like that. But if you know Tina and I, you're gonna know that there are no excuses. We're gonna get this garden fired up. We're gonna make it work. We're gonna fill the shelves, and we're gonna show you how we did it. So y'all hang around. We'll catch you in the next one.